let me just be clear. I think she probably was going to come back. I think everyone is coming back except Anne-Marie, and I think they're adding Kathy, but this certainly helps lead us into a new season where Dorit and Kyle are not speaking. Dorit did not text her back. Dorit is like, no way. We're going to do this on camera. So Dorit ain't playing. She'll spend the whole season trying to kiss up to Kyle and make it up to her. But she also, this is where she lost me. She also, Kyle then said that she thinks her co-stars are inhumane for the way they came after her with what's going on in her marriage. And I disagree with that. Just like we all came after Erica Jane and we all wanted to know what was going on with Tom Girardi when he was sent away to the halfway house and he was sent away to the dementia center. And now we learned that he's faking it. All of that, we went after Erica with a vengeance. I mean, you're on a reality show, and yes, all of your castmates want to know after working with you for 1 to 13 seasons. Well, not 13 because you're the only OG. What is going on with you and Mauricio, who you put out a, vision that, you guys were so in love. So that's where she loses me. I do think it's everyone's business. And I do not think they came after you in such an inhumane way. They wanted to know what was going on, just like you like to know what's going on with everybody else. Everything going on with Erica and everyone else, you prod just as much as everyone prodded you. And by the way, that is the job. So if you don't want to be asked about Mauricio, you should have taken the fucking season off. And by the way, if you also still don't want to be prodded anymore about Morgan, don't come back next fucking season because that's the job. Lala has bought a house for 3.1. She says she is not. Sheena bought the house in the Valley for 2.1. Lala just bought a house. Lala says she's not giving up her Palm Springs house. That's her happy place. I mean, these people Scandoval has helped these people so much. They are making so much money, all on the back of Tom. I'm telling you, they all fucking use this. No one's outraged anymore about Tom Sandoval. Lala doesn't care. Sheena doesn't care. Nobody fucking cares. They're not even mad at the guy. Let me tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. You got to be mad. You got to make him the scapegoat because you got to keep earning the money. I don't blame anyone for that either. But stop. You have no problem with fucking Tom Sandoval, and he did nothing worse than anyone else. Get the fuck over it. Lala then starts to talk about she actually feels bad for Joe. This whole scene where Sheena has told Joe to take off the hat and she touched the hat and took off the hat. And Katie, I mean, these really are mean girls. And Katie called Joe a rat girl. Can you imagine being called a rat girl? And Katie called her a sociopath. I mean, yeah, I know because she was with Tom Schwartz. By the way, really not a shameless plug. You guys have to go and listen to my chat with Charlie Burnett. Remember Charlie from Vanderpump Rules? I've told this story before. Listen to it. Charlie came on her first season, and I was not even excited to interview her because I'm like, she's barely on the show. She told a story about the mean girls that, like, in between takes, they would say, cut. And she would just literally be sitting there next to Katie and Stassi. And I think she said Kristen, but definitely Katie was like the main one, and Stassi. And she said, I would just be like, hi, like, how are they? Would not even speak to her in between takes. She told so many stories about Kate. She actually got in trouble. Here's a fun fact. I mean, not a fun fact, but just a fact. She got in trouble by Bravo for this interview because she broke the fourth wall, broke the fifth wall, and she was just like, I mean, the picture she painted about filming with Katie and Stassi was like Mean Girls on acid. So go and listen to that because it's really, when I hear that Katie is calling Joe a sociopath and a rat girl, I don't know, rat girl. I mean, yeah, I call Tamara, and she is in the corner and she's scurrying, and I thought she loved Munster, but she loves Gouda. But Tamara also says a lot of shit about me. I'm not being a mean girl. I'm just fucking fighting back. But anyway, regardless of all of that, Joe was really upset, and Lala's like coming to Joe's defense. Listen, this is why Andy called her the voice of reason. And Lala said, I love my Sheena, but if you remove my hat, I'd be punching you in your fucking face. So don't remove Lala's hats because she said she'll be punching you in the fucking face. By the way, I don't want to take anything away from anybody, okay? But Bethenny Frankel is now claiming after the TikTok influencer went viral that she was punched in the face, and this is a trend in New York City. I've only been in New York twice since the new year because my apartment is not ready. Building has not even approved the work, although we're about to have the work approved, and then we have to design. So eventually I will have an apartment in New York, but things take a long time. We're not even moving any kitchens or bathrooms. We're just doing pure design, but we have to add some J boxes, and like I'm gonna have these pendants. I'm gonna have pendants hanging from the ceiling in my bedroom, darling. Anyway, I've only been in New York twice since January. I've been hiding out here in LA. But Bethenny now claims that she was punched in the face, and I don't want to diminish any victim out there, but I was even at dinner last night with friends, and this came up, and it's like, because I mean, people talk to me about. I was in Tiffany's yesterday buying something. Shout out to my girl from Tiffany's, and she just wanted to talk Bravo with me. Everybody wants to talk Bravo. But here's my girl Danielle from Tiffany's. We love you. Thank you for hooking me up. But everybody wants to talk Bravo with me. But here's the thing. I don't want to take away any, buddy's victims' rights, but I don't believe how is Bethenny, who just opens up all the time. I mean, you look at her wrong in Sephora and she opens up. You know what I mean? She doesn't like the taste of the Vegemite in Australia. She was just in Australia. And one of our listeners slipped into my DM. She went to see Bethany, said it was disappointing. She was only on stage for an hour and she was very upset. And she talks more business than housewives. Well, I mean, I get it. That's what Bethany wants to do these days. But I just don't. How did Bethany, with this platform of like 3 point something million on Instagram, not tell us that she was punched in the face months ago? And now I guess that it's a trend. She's talking about it. Now, even if it's not a trend, Bethany apparently starts the trends. You mean to tell me she's not going to tell us she was punched in the face? I just think it's weird that all of a sudden she says, yeah, that happened to me months ago. Okay. It's weird to me. Lisa Vanderpump, by the way, is a producer on The Valley. So when she does all these interviews at the beginning of the season, and she says, yeah, we all knew about Jax and Brittany and they're having all these troubles. I mean, she has a vested interest. I mean, LVP, don't count her out. I mean, man, Vanderpump Rules. Now The Valley. Now she's going to spin off Vanderpump Villa. Lisa is doing well. I mean, do you know how great it is to have a show that's named after you and you show up on the camera for 3 minutes? Like, I got no ego here. If someone wants to if I want to be here, I'll be on camera for 30 seconds. It's like the less camera time, the better. Like, go on and live your life and get the same amount of money, more money. So, wow, Lisa's done well for herself. God, this is just a quick hit and we have to go. We're going to have to talk about Roni coming back and all of that another time. We don't have time. I have a lot to say about it. Jenna Lyons. Oh, don't even get me started. That's like a bomb to end with. So that's that. You know what I thought was interesting though is Anne, Tom's assistant, Justice for Anne. Anne has spoken out. I guess Tom has now come out and said that, Anne is full of shit, that when she is like saying, I want to work for Ariana and it's so bad. And apparently she was going to the Taylor Swift concert and Tom is like, I got you those tickets. They're fighting over Taylor Swift tickets. And Anne is like, you didn't get me the tickets. I told you not to bother me and leave me alone so I can be on Ticketmaster for 3 hours and get the tickets. So Tom and Anne are fighting. And Kyle also in this interview, by the way, said that basically Brandy's a desperate bitch who needs money. And I'm paraphrasing, but basically like, how could we believe any of her claims against Andy Cohen? Because she even said herself, this is how I make my living. And how am I going to make my living after Girls Trip, which I agree. The reality TV thing is over for Brandy. It is. I mean, at least on Bravo and NBC. Brandy will never be back on Bravo or NBC or Peacock or any of its affiliates. Nene will never be back on Bravo, NBC, or any of its affiliates. Nene can go on anything else. She's in the Upshaws. Nene is very employable as an actress. Brandy, I think she's probably employable, not like Dancing with the Stars, but she's employable on the mess shows, the shows that are a mess. And it's really a shame because she was on Traitor. She would have been on Villains probably. I do feel for Brandy. But Kyle has basically said, let's discredit all of her claims because she needs money and this is a money grab. And I don't know. I feel bad for Brandy. So there you go. It's going to be Kyle versus Dorit next season. Does everyone see this? Does everyone see this? And, Kathy will be back and she's not going to fight with Kyle. She's going to have Kyle's back. That's what we want. We have Melissa and Teresa not speaking. We're not going to go dark with family stuff anymore. We've never really had, you stole my goddamn house. That was season 1 between Kim and Kyle. It's time the Richards sisters are allies. That's what they're going to do. And Kathy is friends in real life with Sutton. So I think Kathy is going to be behind Kyle coming for Dorit. And I think actually Sutton is going to make up with Kyle. We love conflict resolution. That's what Housewives is. It's not conflict. And Sutton doesn't care either. I think Sutton is going to, they went to lunch, Kyle and Sutton, okay? And Dorit's not returning her call. So I think it's going to be Kyle versus Dorit. The epic smackdown that we never saw, LVP versus Dorit, because LVP left. It's going to be Kyle versus Dorit. Dorit saved her job. She's going to be front and center. It's going to be that more than Mo, and Morgan will be sprinkled in. Kathy's going to have Kyle's back, and I think Sutton's going to have Kyle's back. And I have to go because this is not an episode. It's a quick hit. Love you all. It's Sunday. Go listen to the Charlie Burnett, really, and listen to this stuff on Patreon with Mike Shued, What Rachel Revealed. I love you all. A whole new episode tomorrow.